this video, I want to talk to you about how our agency gets backlinks for all of our clients. So this is a question that a lot of people have, including our clients, but also people that are trying to learn about SEO and trying to figure out how to get backlinks. It's one of the most important components or ranking factors that Google looks at, but it's also one of the more difficult ones. I'll start off by kind of telling you how it used to be. So back in the day, we started the agency back in 2005, and around that time, maybe even all the way up to 2010, 2015 even, getting backlinks was a lot easier. The method that we used to employ was just outreach. We would just talk to blogs that were up and coming, and we would ask to write articles for them, and we would kind of sneak in a backlink in that fashion. So those days are mostly over for two reasons. The first reason is that publications, blogs, all those kinds of outlets, they got wise to the fact that SEO was very important. Those backlinks were worth something. So now they almost all exclusively sell backlinks. So if you want a placement on their publication, you're gonna have to pay for it. So even though that's against Google policy, it's something that is just standardized in the industry because there's no way around it. That everybody knows what their viewership and what their links are worth, so they charge for it. Even back in the day, you could do a well thought out article, and because it's researched and well done, it's worth something. But now with AI, it's, people put in a prompt and 10 seconds later, they have a really good 2,000 word article. It's no longer valuable to the publisher because they can do it themselves. So the other foundational backlink that we get for our clients, and honestly, it's been around for a long time and it's just still very important, are called citations. So citations are sort of the foundational framework of backlinks because they are related to your business and you can get them everywhere, basically. So a citation, essentially think about like a directory, listings, that kind of thing. So for example, a Yelp or Yellow Pages, or I guess YP.com now, all your social media channels, those could be counted as citations. Even old school places like Foursquare, those are still counted as citations. Basically anywhere that you can add your profile or your business's profile, that's kind of what we consider citation. Usually that's directories and things of that nature, but it can span all kinds of things. Another kind of layer to citations is the niche specific citation. So for example, the YP and the Yelp and those kind of citations apply to everyone. But from in there, there's always industry specific directories that you can add your website to. Those are online directories that are pretty easy to find. If you just go to Google and you type in business directory for your type of industry or industry name directory, you'll find a bunch of them. So that's kind of how we do citation. We tend to use services like either Bright Local or Yext. Yext is probably the best. The only problem, the caveat there that you have to know is that Yext is a subscription. And when you stop paying for it, it's a little questionable what happens. Some people report that once you stop paying for it, the listing goes dead. And in other ones, it's just hard to update and kind of claim that profile that was created. So just be wary of that. The other one is Bright Local. Bright Local is pretty good. They let you submit to a ton of different citations there and business directories, even Apple Maps, things like that. So Bright Local is one that we're starting to use more and more often. There's a bunch of other ones. And then obviously you can do it manually if that's the route you want to go. It just takes a long time, but it's definitely achievable. This is also one of the rare cases where you can use a service like Fiverr to do these citations for you and just hire somebody to do it manually, just because there's little risk of them messing up because it's such an easy thing to do, and you have power to see what they did, and they'll usually give you the logins to each of the profiles they create, so you can go back and fix any changes that need to be fixed. So just one quick thing to note, even though I'm talking about citations and how to get them, I'm not really going over why they're important, but just know that in the SEO world, they're very important because it's something that Google uses to determine how widespread a company is and then how accurate certain information is. So this is where the famous NAP or name, address, and phone number come in. Basically, you want to keep those three elements on exactly the same on all different citations and all different directories, etc. That's something that's very important. The second way that we get our backlinks, which is kind of our secret sauce, is since we've been established for such a long time, we have 20 years in this, we have a ton of clients spread all over the world and all over the US. And so what we do is each one of those clients hire us to write blogs. That's part of the package that comes in SEO, writing blog articles. So for each one of those companies, we write a blog article and we pair them up with another company that is relative or related to them in some way. So think about, let's say, home services. If you're a roofer, your services might be related to concrete. So when we write an article for the concrete company, we find a way to relate it to roofing. And in that same fashion, when we write an article for the roofer, we find a way to link back to the concrete company. So what that does is it creates a private blog network of legitimate websites. Usually when you hear about private blog networks or PBNs, it's a negative connotation because they're usually spam and they're made up sites. But these are real business owners that create the blog network of real websites that Google can see, like, hey, these are actual websites. They all have all the SEO done to all of them correctly. They're all been established for a long time and they're linking to different sites. That's kind of one of our secret sauces in how we get backlinks. It's kind of what sets us apart from other people. Unfortunately, that's hard to replicate, but if you are a agency owner or you're starting out your business and you're offering SEO to different companies, just know that's one thing that you can start to do, and you build up your network as you get more and more clients. And the last way that we get backlinks is honestly just to pay for them. Like I said earlier, there's really no way around it nowadays. That has to be part of the portfolio of options whenever you are looking to get backlinks. And the way we do that is typically towards the higher end quality backlinks. So think about something like a Business Insider, Forbes.com, things like that. Those are places that now you can pay for placement. Sponsored articles is what I believe they're calling them nowadays. But that's basically what it is you pay to write an article on there, and then in there you can kind of add a backlink. In that same fashion, there's also actual marketplaces where you can go and just browse through different sites where you see their domain authority, how much traffic they get, and then there's a price on how much it costs to either inject a link to an existing article or to have a new article written that could have your link pointing to your website. And so when you combine all of those three sources, that's how we get our clients 10, 20, 30, 40, even 100 backlinks each month that are all really relevant to the site, all legitimate, not spammy, and they really move the needle is because we spread them out through those different sources and they're all just the highest of quality. So that's how we do things. But if you can use part of what we did as just a framework into how you can start building links for your website, you'll start to notice the dramatic increase in placements and in domain authority and in overall success in the keywords that you're going for because of the backlinks.